Okay, welcome to the Rugby League Outsiders prediction video. This is the only prediction video on the internet that counts, in our opinion. My name's Craig.
And my name's Karl.
Some great games last week. We called out a couple of real belters, and they didn't let us down. So this week we've got some real interesting games as well. So Karl, just browsing over the fixtures for this week, which ones are like the standout games for you?
Well, Saints v Warrington is obviously going to be a big game.
Yeah.
Helens has come under a lot of stick lately, which I think is a bit unfair. But they had a great game against Wigan and they could have won that game, and he backed a bit of youth. So that's going to be a great game. Huddersfield v Salford's also an interesting one.
Yeah,
Salford have been doing really well, but last week they were uncharacteristically poor, I thought. So it'll be interesting to see how they go against the Huddersfield that's had a bit of resurgence since the head coach has gone. So yeah, be interesting this week.
Yeah, a couple of games that stand out for me. Leeds Hull KR could be an interesting game.
I don't think so, mate.
Castleford Catalans might be interesting at Castleford. Castleford are kind of picking stuff up. So
yeah, Castleford were good at the weekend, so yeah I think they should give them a game.
Okay, let's get into it then. So the first game that we want to pull out is Huddersfield versus Salford, 8 o'clock on Friday the 19th. So no Thursday night game this week. A little bit disappointing, but we've got 3 on Friday night. So what's your call on this one, Karl?
Huddersfield then, interesting to see how Huddersfield go. Jake Connor, I think, as a lot of people have mentioned, had a good game at the weekend. Was a bit of unrest in the camp with the head coach. They seemed to certainly go a little bit better this week and a little bit more energy about them. Interesting, looking at the stats, Huddersfield early on in the season could win away. They were winning all the games away and they were losing at home. And the season's flipped. They haven't won away for the last 4 games. They've lost away, but they've won 2 at home, and they're at home this week. So
yeah,
that could be a little bit of an advantage for them.
Well, there's a little interesting point that it just came to mind. So I know Luke Robinson and Jake Connor both came from the Siddle Club in Halifax.
All right,
originally.
a bit of info,
a bit of info. So and now obviously different generations. However, I think Luke Robinson would have had a part to play in Jake's development as a child, as he's like running up, because I know he did a bit of coaching there at Siddle whilst he was playing at Huddersfield and that, and they both kind of buzz around the Siddle club now. So I dare say they know each other really, really well, and perhaps even on a deeper level than coach-player, or player-player. So maybe Luke Robinson's got enough, knowledge about him, about Jake Connor,
to settle him down
and to get the best from him. He may know, like, fundamentally, when you're playing as a kid, you're playing for fun and you'll do all sorts of crazy stuff that you wouldn't perhaps do, on a professional arena. Maybe he just knows how to play him better. So I'm really interested in watching that and watching that unfold. As for my prediction, I'm gonna go for a Huddersfield win on this one.
Right. Okay.
I think, we know Salford can beat any team on its day, but I think Huddersfield, they were a marked improvement at the weekend, and a lot of players do get a kick up the backside when they lose a coach and the stuff going on. So I'm gonna go for a Huddersfield win. You?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to call this. I'm a big fan of Salford, and they let me down last week. I tipped Salford to go to Catalans and get a win, and you said it wasn't happening, and I thought Salford were actually quite disappointing last week, and it was the first time I've watched Mark Sneed and he didn't really have any influence on the game. That said, I think they're going to come back this week.
Right.
Brad Singleton's back. I'm going to tip Salford.
Right, so we're split on this first game.
Yeah, on the first one, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so moving on then, an absolute belter of a game, St Helens versus Warrington at 8 o'clock.
So as I said earlier, I thought Paul Wellens has had a bit of harsh stick. He sort of backed himself and put a youngster in, Harry Robertson. This weekend, he dropped Dodd. Bit of a bold move, I thought, 'cause Dodd has had quite a good season, but clearly wasn't happy with certain aspects of his game. He paid off for Saints. I thought Saints played really well against Wigan, and there really wasn't much in it. They've got a lot of injuries. Having said that, Warrington's still going about the business, and they were pretty good against Leeds.
Yeah, this is a hard one to call, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's very hard one to call.
I know Saints got a lot of players out. I think Warrington have got a few players out as well. So I'm going to go for...
I'm going to go first.
Oh, go on then.
I'm going to go St Helens win.
I'm going Warrington win.
All right, okay.
Yeah, we're split on this one. Okay, you're going Saints, I'm going Warrington. Next game then, Leigh versus London, which again is an interesting prospect.
Yeah, I think... Look, Leigh, I think comfortably better than London this year. It might be a bit of upsetting Leigh at the minute. The team's been stripped down, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I know it's not going to come into effect until next year, but half the squad's moving over to Hull FC, so that's interesting. But no, I think London had a good game actually against Castleford. They played at Ebbsfleet, didn't they, last week? And there wasn't much in it actually. They really took it to Castleford. They were good on the outside edges. I thought the defence just keeps letting them down. Really, I don't think London will get a win.
Okay, I'm going to go Leigh as well. So we'll both agree on that one. So Leigh to win at home. By the way, if you haven't seen our video about the Leigh fans last week, then check that out. So and give us your opinion on that. It's not really the kind of luck we want in rugby league, but it happens. And anyway, so we'll check it out. All right, moving on then to the Saturday. So we've got Hull FC versus Wigan. At Hull, it's 2:00.
Wigan, incredible out there this year. It doesn't matter how many injuries they get, they just seem to keep going. And that conveyor belt of players that they've got to bring into the side. But they are getting really stretched now with injuries.
But they seem to have strength in depth as well, though, don't they? They bring in a kid and you think, oh, here we go, and then they do really well.
Well, yeah, so Adam Kieran got a one-match ban, didn't he, for his tip tackle against Saints at the weekend, so he's another player out of the back line, but they've got Ryan Hampshire that's going to likely to be in the setups this year, so yeah, like you say, production line just keeps rolling, and I don't see where Wigan are going to lose now this year. So, it don't matter how many injuries they get, they just keep going. Got a lot of the top players out, and they still turn Saints over in such a huge derby. So, I'm predict a Wigan win.
Yeah, 100% Wigan win for me. I don't think Hull is anywhere near competing with Wigan. Moving on to the game of the weekend, then Leeds versus Hull KR.
Is it really the game of the weekend?
It is in my opinion.
Look, Leeds. Were they better against Warrington? They had spells, didn't they? They started absolutely awful. First 10 minutes looked like they were still in the dressing room, and I thought it was going to be a bit of a cricket score last week with Warrington, but they did better. They built into the game actually, didn't they? They started slowly, were slow burn, and they got going. Having said that, I don't think we'll see the same again this weekend.
Well, I think they will be stronger this week. I think they've got to learn from that start. I think if they had a stronger start last week, the game could have been anybody's. Because there were periods of the game when they gained momentum, you know what I mean? Especially when there was like a couple of cards and what have you. So I'm going to stick my neck out and go Leeds here.
Right, okay.
I'm going to slip back to the old Williams.
Just
follow my heart instead of my head. But I think Hull KR, I know they had a blinder this weekend. Mikey Lewis on fire.
Did you see Mikey Lewis's tweet that he sent out after the game?
No, what was it?
He put something like another 2 points at the Hull City ground is what he said. Just to wind the FC fans up. I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah,
he got a lot of backlash for it though.
Of course,
they were tongue in cheek. I thought it was quite funny.
So I'm going Leeds. You?
No, Hull KR. Leeds need to sort out the goal line defence. I think that was a massive minus for them last week, and it's been a big problem all season. They concede too many tries. When they're down on their own line, I just don't think the defence is strong enough. Do you know? Also, what Leeds need to sort out, they need a bloody goal kicker, man.
Well, I was just about to say to you, I was just about to broach this subject. Do you think Reece Martin switched off? Because he looks to me like he's kind of switched. Well, actually, we were talking about goal kicking. There were 2 goals there at the weekend, and I thought, he's kicked that, and the flag stayed down.
There was one definitely that he was arguing with the referee, wasn't he? Yeah, I saw that.
Dodgy.
But yeah, look. If Leeds had had a goal kicker at the weekend, they wouldn't have been far off.
No, they've got a goal kicker. He's just not
He just don't
not
kick
doing
goals.
very well.
That's what I mean. He's not a goal kicker.
Well, or did he?
No, Hull KR win for me, and I think they'll win comfortably.
Okay, moving on to the Sunday then. Castleford versus Catalans at Castleford, 3 o'clock. What are you saying?
Interesting one, this. A really interesting one. I watched the Cas game. I watched most of the Cas game. Jacob Miller really
Lost it.
Yeah, he's getting into his stride now. He's just, he's controlling that team, and he's got a bit of that maverick halfback like about him. And he's played really well. Catalan, they dispose. It's always difficult one to call with Catalan because you get a different team home and away, don't you? But they have been better away this year. I think Catalan will just nick this one, but I expect it to be close.
Right, I'm going to go just for shits and giggles.
You're going for Cas?
Yeah. Yeah, so
no, it could well happen. Castleford have been getting better and better in the last couple of weeks.
I'm not doing this for fun. Like everyone I've chosen, I think can win. You know what I mean? It's that close, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of the Super League this year. It's really difficult to call week in, week out. This is why I don't go to bookies, mate.
Yeah. So to summarise. Huddersfield, Salford, I've gone Huddersfield, you've gone Salford. Saints, Warrington, you've gone Saints, I've gone Warrington. Leigh, London, both saying Leigh. Hull, Wigan, both saying Wigan. I'm saying Leeds, you're saying Hull KR. And then the final game of the weekend, I'm saying Castleford, you're saying Catalan.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, so let us know what your picks are for the weekend. And as always, please like, follow and subscribe. To keep this channel growing. As you can see, new studio.
Just a quick mention on that, because I think there are people who just watched this predictions video. We are in a new look studio. We're going to be working from here a lot more, so it's going to really give us the opportunity to react to news and put a lot more stories out in sort of almost real time. So keep commenting on the videos. If there's anything that you want to see, drop us a message, please.
So until the next video, take care.